Yeah, it's not. He doesn't want to stream like how YouTube has to be horizontal. Uh, each time I put it, it's telling me orientation is locked. But I've already released it from I think it's working now. I am seeing myself the right way, but the YouTube, everything is still the other way. So when we talk about health and wellness in autism, a lot of people tend to still believe that, yeah, it's just like every other condition, but we've come to realize that it's different, very, very different. They have their own peculiarities, they have their own physiology is different. Please, this person on YouTube, can you tell me how you see me? Are you seeing me bent or are you seeing me okay? I just want to know. Temilade, do you have another phone where you can see how I appear on YouTube? Do you? Do you have another phone where you can just check what I look like on the YouTube? I am bent, right? Of the phone or the YouTube? Anyway, am I okay now? So Julia, thank you. Thank you, Julia. Is it better now? All right. So, hi, Julia Blanton. I'm glad. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. So, when we talk about wellness in autism, we tend to feel Kesazin. Hi. Yeah, I'm good. And you, how are you? Thank you so much for asking. I appreciate it. Kesazin. Kesazin. Am I getting it right? Julia, thank you. Oh, yes, it shows me you are a top fan, Kesazin. Kesazin do collab. Thank you so much, and I really appreciate it. Yeah, it tells me you're a top fan. I appreciate it. For those who come out here, you are almost in all my life. I'm sorry, I can't speak Portuguese. Yeah, Julia, I know. Thank you, Julia. Julia, I'm so grateful for that. Oi, thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Hey, Kesazin. Oi. I don't know what that means. What does it mean in Portuguese? Thank you. What does oi mean in Portuguese? Ah, I am good. How are you too? Hey, how are you? Yeah, so we are talking about health and wellness in autism, and we are saying that just as it's a neurodivergent condition, their health and wellness, comment vous allez ça? Their condition is also, their health and wellness is also a kind of not very straightforward. So, like I said, I made this presentation in 2017. It was a conference. Pardon?
I said about 8 years ago.
Yes, it was on a conference about autism awareness, Orange Ribbon Autism Awareness in Lagos State, Nigeria. Oh, thank you, Julia. So, on this program, we spoke extensively about peculiarities, physiological peculiarities. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So, the physiological peculiarities are such that what you may find in children with autism may not be the same as you may find in children without autism. Why? Because, hey, Kesazin, because their physiology is like miles away from the neurotypical physiology. So when a neurotypical child, for instance, is out there, just being happy, what you may call being maybe stubborn, as many may think, when it has to do with a child with autism, it's a different ball game altogether. We are just, citing a form of example. Let's say a child with autism is being hyperactive. We are already seeing a whole lot that is possibly going on inside of him. We could look at things like possibilities of yeast overgrowth. We look at possibilities of parasites. We look at possibilities of indigestion. We look at possibilities of food allergy. So this is just one example. Oh, thank you, Julia. Wow. You never leave Portugal. Portugal is a nice place. Yeah, Portugal is a nice place. I haven't been there, but it's a place I would like to explore. Do you know anybody with autism around you in Portugal? I am actually in the UK. I'm in United Kingdom. Have you seen any child? Oh, sorry. I also don't understand yours. But yeah, maybe somehow we can connect and understand one another. Yeah, thank you. But tonight we are talking about health and wellness in autism. Thank you for joining us. Thank you. Temilade,
Yes, ma'am, I'm listening.
have you ever come in contact with children with autism? What have you noticed about their health? What can you see immediately about their health?
I actually don't think I have seen one physically.
Really?
Yes, but I've seen on YouTube, on the internet, but I don't think I've come across one physically.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Hmm. Hmm. That is, how do I say it?
That is strange.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'm trying to see if I can see. Okay. I titled that program Holistic Wellness in Autism. I should say it has been in fact, one of my best outings ever
wow,
since
that's
I've
nice.
been making presentation. Very beautiful slide I made for myself.
That's cool.
Very beautiful slide. So, in health, why does this thing keep going away? In health and wellness in autism, we are going to look at what is autism spectrum disorder in the first place. I know that anybody that is here, see you, Julia, thank you, bye. Bye, Julia, thank you. Yes, Kezazin, thank you. Thank you for dropping by. See you next time. So what is autism spectrum disorder? We are going to look at the physiological attributes of autism, and we are going to look at holistic wellness in autism. So, but what do you think autism is? What do you think it is? Just tell me.
It's a neurological disorder.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it kind of affects the expected milestones of the
Mm-hmm.
individual.
Yeah.
Yes. Then, from what I've seen on the internet, I also observed some to be non-verbal, but I
Yes.
don't know if it applies to all of them.
Okay.
Yes. Then, so those are the basic, those are the prominent features that I've observed. A delayed milestone in terms of, should I say, communication, social skills.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes. Then being non-verbal. Those are the things that I've observed about them.
Okay. So it's a from what you have just submitted, you say it's a neurological disorder, and they can have social impairments, speech
Yeah.
delay, social
Yes.
impairments. It can affect the way they interact with their immediate
With
environment
others. Yes.
and people, both people and environment. So some of them have sensitivities that make it difficult for them to cope in the ordinary environment. So you are not far from what is autism. So as a disorder, first of all, that name spectrum means that it is very broad. It is so broad that you can see somebody that can live their life freely, playing, having friends, having hobbies, engaging in activities, and he's on the autism spectrum, having relationships, getting married, doing all sorts of things, raising children. And
Yeah, amazing stuff.
and the person is on the autism spectrum. But you can also see the same spectrum, that somebody is on the spectrum, but they don't even know they are alive. They poo-poo on themselves, they wee-wee on themselves, they cannot feed themselves, they cannot bathe, daily living, cannot handle, hardly eats any food, does not recognize parents, does not recognize siblings, can hardly get by an hour, 2 minutes of their lives without somebody supporting them. And it's still the same condition. It is still the autism. So it's a very big spectrum. And that is why it's a very, to some people, it feels like an insult to say, the other one is it not the same thing that is happening to you that is happening to the other one? Do you get? Why
Each
is
person is
uh
different.
a lot of times people tend to bottle them together and put in one bucket and say, because you have autism, this is how you should be. In fact, that's even the most painful part. That's even the one that pains most. A mother, for instance, who has a child on the autism, and then what people would just say, oh, it means your child is very intelligent. Is he a genius? I know that Albert Einstein was autistic, and he did that. He did that.
Oh.
Let me just tell people, if you don't know anything to say, don't tell a mother like that, especially a mother that the child is struggling. If you have not met their child, if you don't know what is happening to their children or their child, don't open your mouth and yap. Do you get? People should not talk to parents about how they think their child is just because they are on the autism spectrum. Yes, that's the mistake that a lot of people make. A lot of people make that mistake. Immediately you tell them, oh, my child is on the autism spectrum. The next thing, ooh, that means he's a genius. What has he discovered? I mean, what does he, and then the latest ones are, which instrument does he play? You be like, seriously? All of them will be playing music or playing one instrument. Hi, Julia. People just assume things just because they know that someone is on the autism spectrum. So tonight we say that it's a broad spectrum disorder, very, very broad, like I have explained, and people can be anywhere. You can see somebody that is intelligent, class intelligent, like brilliant, but he still passes urine on himself.
Wow.
Yeah. You can see someone who is not intelligent in any way, but he's potty trained, having self-help, sustaining him or herself. And this is because there are what we call comorbidities. It's very, very difficult to see a child that has only one diagnosis of autism and their brothers and sisters. I call them autism brothers and sisters because they almost always come together.
Okay, what are they?
What we call autism brothers and sisters are like attention deficit hyperactivity disorder.
ADHD.
You have Down syndrome. Some children have Down syndrome while they still have autism. Some children have obsessive compulsive disorder. Some children have sleep disorder. Some children have intellectual disability. Some children have, oh my God, there's nothing they cannot have. Believe me, the diagnosis can be not otherwise stated. There's even attention.
Okay.
Pardon, tell me.
Yeah, honestly, it now even makes me want to ask that. So is it inseparable? Like, can autism stand alone? Then if it stands alone, what are the features? Because by the time other comorbidities are, should I say, attached to it, how would one differentiate? I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say. So are there some distinct features that are strictly for the autism spectrum?
Okay, the features that are known to be associated with autism spectrum is like that communication impairment.
Okay.
Not being able to communicate, not being able to perceive their environment. Like they are not aware of the environment. Some of them not even know like the concept of who their mother is or who their father is, or it is more of social interaction. It kind of impairs social interaction. But believe me, there are children on the autism spectrum. Okay, when we now talk about Albert Einstein and their likes, these are children on the autism spectrum that are still very intelligent. Now, if you are talking about comorbidities, there are children on the autism spectrum that cannot even spell their name.
Okay.
And those are the ones that there is possibility of a presence of things like intellectual disability.
Okay.
So when you have, that is why when you know how the person is presenting, that you can now begin to identify if it is a comorbidity or if it is the core autism. So, but the core autism is more like a social interaction impairment. It's more like an impairment in their social interaction, perception of the environment, being able to just interact. So that is the core thing. But other things are usually almost always there. Like in this developed world, there are children you see that have almost 6 to 7 diagnoses of autism.
That's a lot.
Of not autism, but comorbidities.
Other comorbidities.
Yes. Yes. So when it's in that situation, you just realize that no, this is not just autism. But the problem is that a lot of times everything is attributed to autism.
Okay.
And now knowing that these things are there even kind of complicates that concept of their health and wellness.
Exactly.
Yes, it complicates it because if you see a child now, even when we talk about the aspects of nutrition, we see a lot of them that could have things like food allergy, heavy metal toxicity, was the inborn errors of metabolism, which are very common that I see. But still, that diversity is still there, whereby you can get a child. We used to do several tests like stool analysis, organic acid tests. We do things like heavy metal, food allergy, or sometimes we do cholesterol. So there are children you see that in the whole of their tests, everything is perfect until you get to heavy metal toxicity. Sometimes you see that the child is really, loaded. But there are some that you see their heavy metal is clear, their everything is clear. But you get to their stool analysis and you see that probably the child has bowel inflammation. There are some you see everything is fine, but if you get to their food allergy, you see that they're allergic to even themselves. So, yeah, some children are so allergic to everything that the next thing is that the child is allergic to their own skin. It go. Some
Like
children.
for real? Allergic
No,
to their own skin?
no, I'm just saying that.
I get you.
Yeah, the kind of allergy that we see sometimes is so bad that the only thing remaining is for us to see that the child is allergic to their own skin. Yes. So this is how diverse their health can be. Each one of them is different from the other, and that is why the only approach we have maintained over the years is a personalized nutrition.
Very essential.
Yes, because there's no way you can apply anything on one person and on the other. You won't be capturing it. There's no way you can capture it. So for every child, we go through all the processes afresh without applying another person's realities to support another. Usually it doesn't work. Usually it's kind of counterproductive because it doesn't belong. It might not be what is ailing this person that is ailing this person. Unlike diabetes, you know that if you go to London, if it's not type 1, it's type 2. You know that if you go to Kafanchan, if it is not type 1, it's type 2.
Or gestational diabetes.
Oh, hell. So but in autism, if you see one child in autism, like I say, they say, if you see one child, you have seen only one child.
I think that's what makes the care also kind of, should I say, complicated or complex.
That is why there hasn't been like a particular cure, because
complex.
Even as we speak now, there has still not been an agreement on what causes it. So is it not when you find something that causes something and then you start looking for the cure?
And it's it's as though symptoms are not the same across board.
Exactly. That is the issue.
Different,
Different people are presenting with different symptoms. So you cannot just put your hand down and say, oh, this is how I've seen these children and this is how to tackle it. No. And let me tell you, it's even possible. This is not funny, but those that know it, if you're in the mood, you can laugh with me. It's not funny because sometimes it's not even the same presentation the person had in January that they will have in December.
Oh, really?
The same person. Yes. In fact, every morning they change. It's not funny, but that's the truth. That's the reality. Today, a child might be so good, do all of that. Tomorrow, they have lost it all. So it's that sad. It's that complicated. It's that complex. Then, based on that diversity, we look at the physiological attributes. I did not share this. I hope it doesn't log me out. Let me share it. The live to.
Okay, on YouTube. Oh, I thought you were streaming already.
Yeah, I want to share it to what's the name? WhatsApp. I want to share it to the audience in WhatsApp to know if they will attend. You didn't know you can share when you're already streaming. Sakanda, welcome. We just want to share the live. I hope it doesn't log me out. Hello. You see, it has logged me out. So we were actually just talking about the physiological attributes and comorbidities of autism. Hello, Temilade. You see what happened there?
I can hear you now.
But you saw what happened. Anyway, what happened was that I shared it first on my WhatsApp local. It never logged me off. Nothing happened. Like I went out and came in, no stress. But immediately I wanted to share it on WhatsApp Business, which is it's actually my Nigerian number. The thing just cut off.
It went off.
It just went off.
Wow.
So I wonder what the issue is. But yeah, that's it. So holistic approach to wellness. No, we have not reached here. We are looking at
physiological
attributes and comorbidities of ASD. So when there is ASD, we see things like leaky gut. So leaky gut, for instance, is a situation where the gut has practically holes in them. This is very common in children with autism because a school of thought has it that it's overconsumption of maybe antibiotics or non-existence of good microbiome that could have even resulted to the condition. So
Okay,
in
that's from the mother's part, right?
no, in the child,
The child.
yeah.
Okay.
You know, some babies when they have condition, when they
Yeah.
have maybe infection or our side where people just take antibiotics
So that
in
means it's not necessarily a congenital defect.
you can't be saying this after we spoke last week on this program. We said it could be congenital, but it has some environmental could I say implications. It has contributors,
Yes.
environmental
Like
contributors.
what I was trying to say is that if it is attributed to antibiotics use in the children, so
Yeah.
why? That's what I'm trying to say. That so that means it shouldn't. How will I put it? We shouldn't say it could also be congenital.
Okay. So,
Do
like
you
I
get
said,
it?
okay, like we said earlier, that even as at this night, there has not been an agreement on what causes this thing. Yes, there is no specific thing that people has put down and say this is why this is happening, which is where you chimed in that it might be why it's difficult to get the cure. So, because all of these many theories are coming up, you won't believe that even in, let's say, in the 50s, 60s, people believe that it's because parents were not playing with their children that the children became autistic. They say, yeah, there is a understimulation of the brain. That because parents were not playing enough with the children brain did not activate, and then it became redundant, which is never ever true. So the point here now is there are so many of these analogies, theories, propositions, what do they call hypotheses of
About
what
it.
but the thing is a whole lot of these children have leaky guts, which is what actually brought us this far. So in leaky guts, we realize that it can be common in children with autism because probably due to overuse of antibiotics, due to high activity of the wrong gut microbiome, and a whole lot of other things. Anyway, it still has a way of coming back to the fact that the body is not detoxifying properly. You know why? Because heavy metal, for instance, provides a safe haven for bad microbes, for pathogenic microbes. So what we are saying is that if a child is unable, for instance, to detoxify heavy metals properly, there is a possibility that the bad microbes will kind of find solace around that heavy metal. And when that happens, they begin to thrive. For the presence of the heavy metals, the bad microbes will continue to thrive, using it as a shield to carry out their activities. And excessive activities of this bad microbe will result ultimately to leaky guts. So somehow it can still be related to the fact that there is a genetic anomaly,
Predisposition.
yes, that is making the body difficult to detoxify what might be considered as toxicants. So, and don't forget that these heavy metals could have been introduced by environment. It can come from water, hygiene products, medication. It can come from anywhere. So just because the body is not able to take care of it properly, the bad microbes. Is it the Chelsea? I know. Chelsea, is that you? So the bad microbes will now find a safe haven around the heavy metals, and then the heavy metals will, both of them will live together and causing leaky guts. So it's still not far from it. And then another physiological attribute is there is usually yeast overgrowth, which is still a part of leaky guts. Remember, we said activities of the microbes, of the bad microbes, could lead to leaky guts.
Yes.
And then there is also food intolerance and allergies. Do you remember what we said could be causing food intolerance? Do you remember? In relation to leaky gut. Anyway, we said that if there is a leaky gut, the foods now pass through the gut walls and enter into the bloodstream. So that is when the bloodstream begins to produce antibodies, feeling that that food is a toxicant just because it did not pass through the right channel.
Okay.
So in that process, the body produces antibodies to that particular food that got into the bloodstream through leaky guts. And this situation could result to an allergy-like reaction. So a lot of times you see food allergy panel where the children are tested sensitive to certain foods. They are not like true allergies. They are just foods that have succeeded in entering the bloodstream through the leaky guts. And then we also say that children on the autism spectrum could have heavy metal toxicity. I just saw Israel. Israel,
Yeah,
good to have you.
okay. Hello?
Spicy liver, good to see you, Israel.
So sorry, I just looked at time and said, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, I've just completely looked and I said, it's Tuesday. And I said, oh my goodness. I looked at time and said, whoa. Oh my goodness, I had to quickly, because I was just discussing about something with someone, so I finished.
Okay.
What were you discussing? Sorry, I missed out.
No, we are talking about health and wellness in autism.
Oh, health and wellness. Oh,
yes. Right. And at this point, we are listing all the physiological attributes that we can find in children with autism. And we have talked about leaky guts. We have talked about yeast overgrowth. We've talked about food intolerances and allergies. And we've talked about heavy metal toxicity.
Right.
And now we are looking at nutrient malabsorption, where we are saying that these children could suffer from nutrient malabsorption due to so many reasons, which cannot also be isolated from the other ones we had said, because of course if you have leaky gut, the nutrient absorption will not be optimal.
Yeah, and I think when you mentioned leaky gut, they don't know until they get checked.
Of course.
Because if one doesn't check how the gut is, the gut leaks.
Of course.
Without your knowing or without your knowledge. So I would say just brief as I can, or just short if I can, in case if Temilade wants that Hervey. It's so important to, like, at least
maybe once in a month, if that sounds all right in your area,
Yeah.
to check how your gut is doing.
Yeah.
Because if you can see signs of the gut leakage is about to start, quickly react quickly.
Yes.
Because it's all to do with if you can spot like a little trace of cancer, be quick, be fast. So it's the same thing with gut leakage. If you can see a trait or someone is saying, right, your gut leakage is starting to leak, don't waste any time. Don't procrastinate and say, oh, my son's this, that, what do we do? Quickly run as fast as you can and quickly get help immediately before it starts to go any worse, if you know what I mean.
Yes. I honestly can't agree less with you because, okay, let's see all the list of things that leaky gut can actually cause. Number one, when you have leaky gut, when the food is busy seeping into your bloodstream instead of passing through the mucosal walls and getting digested through the lymphatic system and all of that, if they just pass through the holes and get into the bloodstream, your body releases antibodies. Your body will see them as toxicants. We actually call them endotoxins. They are actually endotoxins, so they are no longer referred to as food at that point in time. So if they enter the body as endotoxins, your body reacts. And how does it react? It deploys soldiers, it deploys antibodies to go and fight. And guess what? If you continue eating the food and continue eating with or without your knowledge, your body will continue releasing fighters and releasing fighters. It will get to a stage where even if you don't eat the food, the body is still fighting. Even if the food did not enter your mouth, the body is still fighting because it doesn't want to be caught unawares. And do you know what this thing causes? It causes autoimmune disease.
Wow.
It is called autoimmunity.
The body is fighting itself.
Yes. And as far as I know, today that disease does not have a cure.
It's sad. Sorry to jump in. It's sad what you've just said, that you don't have a cure.
Yeah.
And it can be very, very sad for most families.
Yeah, for those that suffer it, you don't want to hear the story.
They may not want to hear the story, and they can be in denial.
Yeah.
And which is not supposed to be. I don't know what next ideas you got for the weeks to come. I think we need to tell parents, like, don't be ignorant. Let's make, for example, if a house is on fire, we ignore it. No, you won't. You can't ignore things, because imagine if a building is damaged, or leak, or a house leak, or water leak. You're not going to ignore it.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Yeah, you're going to react. Do you get it?
Yeah, you be at your toes, eh?
Yeah, you have to really react, because when it comes to health matters, we mustn't just be like, oh, there's nothing wrong with my gut leakage. Oh, no. We must be on the lookout, you know, because it's better you do it early to prevent immune disease, because immune disease is so worse, and it can affect, it's so worse, and it can affect your ability, your everyday life. Because I've heard stories like some people were battling with some diseases. I don't know what it is. Like, some can't even hold a pen. Some can't even do what they're doing. Some can't even sleep. So it's very important that one doesn't get, one doesn't, what's it called?
Neglect.
Delay. You understand? Because if one delays, and then let's say your son is having a problem, or your daughter's having a problem with the guts, and then it's ongoing, and you don't detect it, and you don't do something about it, that's going to be worse. Like you said, there's no cure for it.
Yes.
So how do we prevent this stuff? React quickly. Change. If we need to change diets for the sake of our children, then so be it. Then, apart from proteins, they're not the problem.
Yes.
You just have to play smart and tactical.
Yeah, exactly, Israel. But what I need to point out is that people should just assume they have it.
Okay.
Don't wait to identify it or understand it, or it's just like people are very conscious of things like balanced diet. People should be very conscious of things like gut healing diets. What are the kind of things you can add to your food to improve the gut healing quality of that food? And this thing can come in several ways. It can be things like herbs. It can actually be things like herbs and spices. It can actually be things like food items itself. It can even be how you prepare your food.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
That's another one.
It can be how you prepare, and it can also be even how you eat the food.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how you eat the food, that's
Yes.
another thing that we haven't even spoke about.
People usually think, yeah, food is just about let the tummy be full and I'll be on my way. There's a saying in my language that say the tummy does not say what it ate, meaning that it doesn't matter what goes into the tummy as long as it is full. But we are here now.
You have to be conscious of what you eat.
Yes.
And it's also the timing as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'll give you my little secrets. Around, was it 10
Yeah.
in the night, I will order takeaway pizza.
Really?
Mom, all right, this is something, don't crucify.
It's okay. I'm just saying.
All right. So I think I came from rehearsal, and then in my brain I was like, you know what? I don't care. Let me just eat, But what I didn't do was that I didn't think about the long term.
Yes. What would happen to you when you go to bed eventually?
When you get it. But I think at some point I was eating it to cope with pain as well. Not pain, but maybe emotion, because I was dealing with emotional hurt at that time. So I think I was ordering pizza, was ordering Papa John's. I think where I was living before, I used to stop by and get Papa John's. I used to get it, and I used to sit and eat, and Mom would be like saying, "Why are you eating that late at this time?" And I was like, "Leave me alone, Mom. I'm a big boy now. I can just eat. Let me just do the hell I want to do." Oh yeah, you're not the one that's in charge of my life. Oh yeah, go and leave me alone a bit in my head,
Yes.
So at some point, it became my habit.
Yes.
And then I was really getting addicted to it. And at some point I was really, really bad, really getting bad. But I think at some point I don't really eat late much as I used to.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Like
unless it's like really, necessary.
Unless it is getting busy and all that, then fine. Yeah.
So the thing here is the kind of food, when you eat it, how you eat it, how you prepare it, All of these things, they make a whole lot of difference in food.
Yeah, they make a whole lot of difference. Exactly.
Yeah. So, but the point is, in when now we are talking about wellness in autism. Johnny with cerebral palsy, I see you. Welcome. So what happened, what we are saying is, don't even wait until you want to find out if you have leaky gut, or you just want to find out what is wrong. Usually I would say, make it a part of your life routine to heal your gut.
That's even a good advice.
Yes, just heal it. Continue healing it. Just like you are conscious of eating balanced meal, be conscious of eating gut health, foods that are beneficial to your gut health. Because let me tell you, your gut health is your mental health. I'll give you an example. So sometimes, last year, if I do not sleep well, even it started initially that if I did not sleep well, I started having dizziness. But these days, it got to a point that even when I sleep well, I could just wake up from sleep and I'm feeling dizzy. And there have been two things I've done that has helped me. I had to start a vitamin B12 supplement. Oh, thank you, thank you. Who put that? Oh, thank you, Johnny with cerebral palsy. Temilade and Israel, please put me, heart me, please, please, please.
Where do we do that?
In your gifts.
Oh, the gifts.
Good
Okay.
evening, thank you.
Okay.
I'm actually unable to do that. I've tried doing it.
Ah.
Yeah, I've done that.
So what was I even saying now? Okay, you should make gut healing a part of your protocol, a part of your everyday, your daily way of preparing your food. Just everybody should just assume that they have leaky gut. Heal your gut, because it goes a long. Okay, I was saying how your gut health is your brain health. So I realized that each time I started feeling that dizziness, I don't know, I forgot to bring that vitamin B12, but it's in my shop anyway. If anybody wants to buy, the link in my bio, it has it. I realized that each time I begin to feel dizziness, I put that B12 under my tongue. That's another way, another thing that people, please take note. You should ask me, why do you put it under your tongue? Why don't you even just take it as a tablet? And of course, injection will be a kind of extreme. But you should ask me, why do you put it under your tongue? Remember, we are saying everything will depend on what you eat, how you eat it, when you eat it, and even how you prepare it. So I want to explain why it is important that you put your vitamin B12 liquid under your tongue. Now, under the tongue, there is a connecting nerve route that will go straight to your brain without passing through your stomach. Yes. B12 usually gets destroyed by the stomach acid when you swallow it directly. So what is recommended is liposomal B12, which is the kind of B12 you can put under your tongue. And what you do is that if you put it under your tongue, you just have it there for like 30 seconds. So by leaving it there for 30 seconds, you are allowing it to, in fact, the first day you take it, you will practically feel it passing through your body. I'm not joking. You know why this B12 is very important? When I was I didn't know then, But my first idea of my mother leaving me, knowing that your mom is not around, was when my mother was staying with my father in the hospital. My sister was already on her internship, like she was a medical doctor doing her housemanship in the same hospital where my father was taken. Apparently, everybody thought he had stroke. Even at home, even when he came home, everybody thought he had stroke. So when we were growing up, we were like, okay, my dad had stroke, but look how he recovered. He can walk. He practically just went back to his normal life. Do you believe that that thing was not stroke? That thing was vitamin B12 deficiency. I can't imagine how many people die in our area around us thinking that it is stroke when it is merely a nutrient deficiency. So my father was in the hospital for like 4 months. He came home and was going for physio. He worked for a walking stick for so long. But what I know is that eventually he weaned off all of those and was on his own. He could walk and do stuff. So to everybody, to the whole world, he had stroke and he recovered from stroke because his daughter was a medical doctor in the hospital where he was. That, yeah, the doctor was able to look after him so well. And that was why he survived stroke and came out, without anything to show for it. But believe me, what happened to that man was not stroke. It was vitamin B12 deficiency. So a lot of people take it for granted when we say nutrient deficiency. People think it's a posh thing. When you tell people, they think it's, I've not even seen food to eat. You are telling me about supplements. People will be like, when I've not even eaten food, you are telling me about supplement. What is supplement? What is food? How are you supplying? What kind of food are you eating? How are you eating it? How much of it is your body utilizing? And that is how important this leaky gut we are talking about is. So people should be very conscious of what they eat, how they eat it, even how they prepare it. And my advice is just assume that you have leaky gut. Treat your body as if it is not getting all you are giving it. Because yes, for sure, once you have passed 30 years, your body is no longer utilizing nutrients the way they ought to be utilized. So you need to support it. You need to start supporting your body anytime from 30, 25. You need to start supporting your body. So the story I just told now, this example I just gave, is a typical example of what nutrients deficiency can do. It can go a very long way. And nutrient deficiency can result from leaky gut. It can result from nutrient malabsorption. It can result from, many of these things that we have stated today. And I tell you, you can, as we are relating this thing to autism, we are also relating it to, normal neurotypical people, because they too, they are not so far from this reality. Okay, now look, assuming my father was a child, shebi his speech will start getting blurred, he starts not working well, or development would have been, delayed, and nobody will know that it's a vitamin B12 issue. Nobody will know that vitamin B12 can actually, bring you back to your normal self. Empress, how are you? Thanks for joining us. So that brings us to the other physiological attributes. Remember, we were talking about the physiological attributes of autism spectrum disorder, and that is your nutritional deficiencies. So when you talk about nutritional deficiencies, I just gave an example of a very drastic one that can it can even kill. It can kill, really can kill when it is depleted that much. So looking at this now, we see how important that nutritional deficiencies is addressed. Let me do multiple get. Temilade, are you there?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, is there something you want to chip
Can you
in?
hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Is there something you want to
Okay,
chip in
so
about?
yes, just to add other attributes, other physiological attributes apart from the nutrition related ones you've mentioned. I just want to add their motor skills.
Yes.
Those are also part of. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, you are very clear, loud and clear. Okay. I think her reception is not so good.
Probably saw my
Okay.
disturbances.
Okay.
Yes.
So yeah, motor related issues is a very serious issue in children with autism, and it is usually not one thing. There is a fine motor and there's gross motor. And one good thing about motor skill is that when it's sometimes children that have fine motor skill issues, their gross motor, you don't want to go near them. A child on the autism may hold you like this and you'll be crying as an adult because the grip is very strong. But if you give that child pencil to write in class, they cannot hold it. Pencil like this, they will hold it and they'll be crying, they'll be screaming because it is painful. So a lot of times the therapist will put like a pencil grip so that the child won't have to, the fingers won't have to come this little to be able to hold it. So the pencil is like this much and the pain will not be very much. So what we are saying here is that when it comes to motor skills, it's a very delicate one. And the painful part is that some of them are happening in places you cannot see them. But that doesn't mean they're not happening. So we see some of these children.
You mean in part of their bodies?
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay.
We see some of these children, many of the children that cry when you give them pen to hold. Parents will think that they don't like to study. This boy, each time it's time for study, will just be crying and be crying. Are you going to be Olodo? Don't you want to study? It is not the study that is paining them. What is paining them is that once they sit down now, you will give them pen to hold. And the holding pen is painful. So children that display such things, you also notice that they don't like chewing food. They don't like chewing food because these tiny, tiny muscles you need to be doing this is not functional. Those are the fine muscles. And the implication is that such children also may be suffering from nutrient malabsorption. Nutrient deficiencies. Why? Because number one, when you chew food, you expose the surface of the food to activities of the enzymes that will break it down. So by not chewing it in the first place, you're already reducing the exposure.
Surface area.
Yeah, the surface area to volume ratio has become very small. So the area that the enzyme will touch will be the only area that will get digested. So certain children now, if you see some of those children, if you see their poo, you will realize that they have undigested food in their poo. So the implication is that all those food that was not digested is already lost. Their nutrients did not add. And then such children, even if you manage to chew, the walls of the stomach undergoes what we call peristaltic movement to turn the food, to churn the food so that digestion can take place. Hey, longest time, Lucy. Oh, it's been ages. How are you? So if the child is also having a fine motor skill condition, the stomach walls will not be able to churn the food, and that will be an issue. But a more risky aspect of it is that many of these children could have constipation, which is because the muscles of the anal region, the anal muscles here, which is supposed to be contracting and retracting, relaxing and contracting for the feces to pass, is not working. They are not effectively functional. So such children can also be suffering from constipation. So are we now seeing that muscle issues, fine motor, gross motor muscles issues, are very, very, very important. Yeah, it means a whole lot for children on the spectrum. It means a whole lot, even for their nutrition, like we have seen now. It's not just about the activity, it plays a huge role even in their nutrition. And think about stimulation, environmental stimulation. Think about eyesight. A lot of them is because the fine muscles that control the contraction and relaxation of the retina for focus and stuff is not effective. That's why they have issues. Yes, they have issues with their eyesight. So anything, that's why I say in autism spectrum disorder, it is a spectrum. It can be anything from any angle, from anyhow, just the way you see your own, collect it. yeah. It varies vastly. It does. This let me say this slide is quite a lot. We are still on slide 5, and it is.
As science gets better, there will be improvements in the management.
There are 19 slides. Of course, science is getting better. Like I keep saying, this regenerative medicine that uses stem cell, I am really urging parents to embrace that therapy. It uses stem cell of the child to try and restore those parts that are non-functional. It can be from muscle, it can be from brain cells, it can be from different approaches, but using regenerative medicine. People should embrace regenerative medicine. It is the medicine of tomorrow. It is the medicine that is coming, it's an innovative way of bringing relief to people who are in pains. People who have leukemia, for instance, are getting relief from stem cell transplant. People who have sickle cell disease are getting relief. People who have things like stroke, people who have things like even diabetes, they have relief from stem cell therapy. People should embrace it. The only thing is, just like every intervention, you have to do your research and know who you are approaching for what. But believe me, stem cell therapy is bringing hope, is bringing relief, is bringing joy back to people's lives. For conditions that were earlier known to be incurable, stem cell therapy is doing a very good job getting people back to their feet. Israel, you're welcome. I think I'm winding down already.
Yeah.
Tomorrow is still school.
I know, right? I'm just hearing a lot, and at the same time, I'm just on my email. I'm looking for, so many things,
Yes, I can imagine.
Because it's very important. Because tomorrow I've got something to do tomorrow, and I've got really get set, and all that stuff. But thank you so much, and so sorry I came in so late because I was just. My brain just switched off completely.
No, and thank you for making all the time. It's a pleasure,
yeah.
actually.
I like to come in at the right time so it can end in time.
Yes.
So,
yes. That was our agreement.
Honestly speaking, it was very deep, insightful, and slang. And then hopefully, what I would advise is that if we can do more PowerPoints on your TikTok, then people can really see, okay, what's the whole danger and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a thought, really.
Yeah. I understand.
Just a thought. Let me love you leave now because I need to look for the email that's been sent to me since last week, and I've got to look for it. I don't know where it is. Okay. So I definitely want to look for it and see if I can retrieve it. So definitely see you next week Tuesday, early time.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you, Temilade. It was really fun being with you.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night. We look forward to more sessions. Please help me make the thumbnail for today. Yeah, you did nice thumbnails. Thank you.
Thank you.
I've not even embedded them, but yeah, I'll take my time and put them all.
All right, no problem.
Yeah, you take care.
Good
night. Night. Good night, everyone. Have a good evening. Bye.